What is going on? Welcome to episode 58 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, and this is going to be a mini show because we just had a mini Nintendo Direct. So I want to say hey to everybody that's hanging out in chat. Welcome, guys. You guys are all going to be my co-hosts for this one, and we're going to talk about this Direct. But before we do, remember, you can go to audibletrial.com/NPC and get yourself a free book from Audible. Books like Ready Player One, Super Mario is another one I recommend. And don't forget, also, you can go to opseat.com, use coupon code N64Josh to save $10 on an affordable and comfortable gaming chair. And lastly, I do have a Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/N64Josh to find extra podcasts and extra content right there. So that is that. Guys, welcome everybody. I see Shapes and Drummer and Kirby, Damian Nash, Henny, Mikey B playing. Welcome, everybody. The Oracle is here. Kirby Geek, so all is well. Anybody that's just lurking, thank you for being here. Nightcrawler, what's up, man? What's up? So we had a Nintendo Direct today, and it was a mini Direct. And a lot of the leaks that we saw, I think I don't know. Some of them were correct. Some of them were not so correct. And I want to start off just by asking everybody in chat here, like, what did you guys think of the Direct overall? What were your impressions? Were you excited by the games you saw? Were you a little disappointed? Like, I want to hear from you guys, so you guys can go ahead and just answer me in chat. Kirby Geeks is pretty good for a mini. Shapes says, I'm super excited for all the games coming out. Facepalm. He's not, but he's not really excited about anything ever. So, you know, that's that. Nightcrawler says free Mario DLC makes me think there can be more later this year. Yeah, I kind of have the same thought. We'll talk about that a little bit. Draco says, I'm pretty excited. So it was a mini. Yeah, of course. Lumberjoke 2 says my expectations were too high. So there you go. Like, there was definitely a lot of expectations. You know, a lot of the leaks showed games coming out like Grand Theft Auto. And that, you know, those are huge games, but some of the leaks did show games like Dark Souls, which we are getting. So there were a lot of ports in this Direct. A lot of ports coming over from the Wii U. We have a game coming over from the DS, which is a game that I'm really surprised to see coming over. And so that'll be the first game we talk about, and that game is called The World Ends With You. And this is from 2008. It's a Nintendo DS game. And one of the things that was strange about this game is that when you played it on DS, you actually used the top and bottom screen at the same time, meaning your D-pad controlled like the top screen and you used the stylus on the bottom screen, and you had two characters that you were controlling at the same time. It's been like 10 years since I played it, but the combat was a little bit tricky to get your head around, you know? So this will all be on one screen, probably be a little bit easier to play, I'm guessing. And, definitely a little bit easier to focus on, because trying to watch both those screens at the same time and use a stylus and a D-pad was a little bit crazy back in the day, but it is a pretty cool story. You know, it's a kind of a bizarre RPG, but and the battles are also like rhythmic. There's like rhythm to them, so it's very different. But it's something I'm kind of looking forward to. So, let's see. Kirby Geek says ports aren't for the super nerds, so super nerds kind of got the short end of the stick for this one. Scrap Gear says, I'm looking forward to a few of the games they showed off. Not super impressed with Luigi's part for Odyssey. Yeah, that was a little sad. Nightcrawler says, I did see something on Twitter today. They talked about how in the past, a mini direct, after a mini direct, there is a full-size direct within 20 days. Yeah, I looked at that list as well, and some of those dates showed as little as 1 day. So it could be as soon as next week we see something else. Who knows? With that, let's keep going here. So The World Ends With You is coming out. We're getting and I'm not going to necessarily be going in order of the direct. So the next game I want to mention, though, is Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Now, I had this game on the Wii U, and I can kind of see what Kirby was saying as far as like the super nerds are kind of getting the short end of the stick. I own most of these games already. So, to just see ports, I can understand why that would be a bummer for people, but at the same time, I haven't completed a lot of these games. So if I can have them on the Switch on the go, you know what? I'm probably gonna pull the trigger again. So I'm fine with it. Maybe not the first choice for the ports that I would want to see coming over from the Wii U. But I mean, look, we saw in this direct, we saw more games coming out before summer than the Wii U would see in an entire year. So that alone gets me hyped. Maybe I don't need to have all of these games. Maybe they aren't for me, but there's a lot of people that haven't experienced the majority of these games. So it's good that they are seeing the light of day. Hyrule Warriors is a fun game. It is a fun game. So Nightcrawler says, no, they will stay in the wrapping on your shelf. Shh, don't I try to open some of them. So, but Hyrule Warriors is a fun game, especially 2-player. Like that was a game back in the day. I set it up on the Wii U. 2-player was a little odd. You had to have one person just using the gamepad and another person would use the TV screen. And the wife and I would play through that game, and she really enjoyed it. So it is it's a simple pickup hack and slash, and that's pretty much it. But you have all the DLC that was available for that game. I'm assuming there'll be some amiibo support, and who knows? So not a bad game at all, especially if you're a fan of that series of game. They're not for everybody. The next one that is a port coming over is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which this is an extremely fun game. Like, it looks gorgeous. I don't know if you watched the direct, you saw some of the gameplay. The game looks great. The game is a little more on the difficult side, and this is kind of where my frustration comes from this game a little bit, is that instead of like adding some new levels or giving it a little extra treatment, we're getting an easy mode through a character. Now, as I watched the direct for the second time today, Funky Kong actually looks like it might be really cool for speed runs. So maybe not necessarily something I will do, but I bet you we will see some crazy stuff from the speedrun community with this game, with a character that he can roll forever, he can swim forever. He's kind of unstoppable in a way. So that could actually end up being some really cool gameplay from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Again, fun game. I would have liked to see a little more content just because I already have the game, but hopefully we see some cool stuff from speedrunners. So Shapes says DK Super Child Edition. Superstar 120 says Tropical Freeze is an amazing platformer. Damian Nash says I'm excited, but I haven't had a Nintendo since Wii. Hey, welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. Yeah, and Superstar says the funky fast speed runs will be wild. Exactly. So, and like Draco's pointing out too, good for younger players. So, the next game I want to mention is Kirby Star Allies. And again, watching the direct the second time, this game looks, because I watched it this morning while I was at work and wasn't able to like fully watch the gameplay and that kind of stuff. I was more just kind of listening to hear which games were coming out, that kind of stuff. Watching it again, this game looks like it will be fun, especially to sit on the couch and play with up to 4 people. So there could be some good times there. It is a Kirby game, so they're not for everybody. Sometimes you say Kirby, people think the games are too easy, that kind of thing. But it looked like it had interesting boss battles, some cool takes on combining your moves and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, it's kind of piqued my interest, and I'm looking forward to find out more about that one for sure. The next one I want to mention is Mario Tennis Aces. Now, I'm a fan of the Mario sports games. Like, I think the sports games are good. Like, I've always enjoyed Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, and I know I'm probably going to get roasted by chat. I've never played Strikers. So the closest I can say to Strikers that I've played is the Mario Sports All-Stars on the 3DS. And that was a blast. That was a blast. But I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, I wish it was Strikers." For me, I'm going, "Oh, I wish it was golf." But tennis is a great game for especially for 2 to 4 players in the living room. And I'm assuming this one will have online, like the DS had online. I'm pretty sure the Wii U had online, and it looks like the tennis play is decent. And it looks like it's going to be a little varied by character. I know that was some of the complaints with the games in the past, was that there was no difference in characters. It was like literally they had one model that they just put different skins over, and that was it. And so that was kind of frustrating for some people. I believe on the Wii U, they actually updated it somewhat. And so, and back on like the 64 and the GameCube, like those were great sports games. I had a ton of fun playing Mario Tennis back in the day. Now, this adds a story mode like the Game Boy Advance games used to have, where it looks like Mario's going to be going on short missions and maybe leveling up, that kind of stuff. So that adds an extra, a little extra value to this game. It's not just tennis. It's not just playing tennis constantly. It's doing different missions. And so that might be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to that one for sure. I love that it's not just Mario and the crew in their regular costumes, but they're actually in tennis gear. I think that's great. I think it'll be a ton of fun. So I want to look at chat real quick. Scrap Gear says, the thing with the ports, it's the way, let's see, the thing with the ports is it's a way for Nintendo to get the Wii U games that had decent repertoire to their better selling console. And it's very true. It's very true. There are some very good games that people didn't get to play at all that are going to be on the Switch. So it's good. It's good. Let's see. The next one here is SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. So this is a fighting game. Looks like it's an all-female cast, and it looks like from what I gathered, like a lot of the moves are done with just one button. I was a little bit confused by the direct, but basically it looks like it sounded like it was just going to be one button to do supers and that kind of stuff. So, I need to know more about this game before I give much more of an opinion on it. It looks cool. It looked like a solid fighting game. And so I'm a fan of fighters, so we'll see. Could be fun. The other thing that came out today was, Art of Fighting 2, which has Yuri, which is one of the characters we'll see in the SNK Heroes or Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. So there you go. If you're a fan of Art of Fighting, make sure to pick that up. The next game on my list here, I'm not sure how to say this game. It's YS8. So I'm not sure. I was trying to listen to the way they were saying it. Wise 8. I'm not, maybe that's right. I'm not real sure. But it looks like, especially since playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 recently, this game looks like quite a bit of fun. Kirby says it's not right. So I'm not sure how to say it. I don't know. I'm just going to throw it out there. I have no idea. Maybe somebody can type it out phonetically for me in the chat. Forgive me if you're a big fan of this game and I just butchered the title. I have no clue. When I listened to it a second time, yes. Okay. Yeez. Okay. Yes. I don't know. All I could hear him say was 8. I'm like listening. All I heard was 8. So, anyway, it looks like a pretty cool, and we're going to get to pho or fee or whatever it is too, right? Thank you, chat. Everybody's helping me out. Pho, fee, fi, fo, fum. So, excuse me. But anyway, this yes 8, whatever it is, looks to be like a pretty cool RPG. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but as I watched it, I'm like, I think I want to play this game. You know, like it looks like Xenoblade, and I've been loving Xenoblade. So if it has a story that can pull me in like Xenoblade has, I could be all over this one. So, look like you put a team together. You can kind of combine moves, do super moves, different characters do different attacks, and you've got to hit the enemies at the right time with those attacks. And so, looks like it could be pretty fast paced, not a real slow paced RPG. The monsters look cool. The graphics weren't like something to really write home about. It kind of reminded me of like a GameCube game maybe, or they weren't like super great, but they weren't so bad that it would be a turnoff. So, that's another RPG. I know we were talking in chat recently. Somebody was saying they want more RPGs on the Switch. So there you go. Next one worth mentioning is Payday 2, which if you are all about robbing banks, this is your game. So you can get 4 friends together and set up your heist and go for it. So I've never played this game. I think I own it because it was like free on Xbox. I know my kids played it and they enjoyed it on the Xbox. So I see chat saying pass, hard pass. This game looks so dated. Well, that may be the case. I think I'm still going to pick it up, and hopefully a few other people will. We can jump into Discord and use voice that way because it's definitely going to be needed. So plus any chance I can get a first person shooter on the Switch, I'm all about it right now. So Draco says my cousin went to prison for robbing a bank. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's unfortunate. Man, that got dark quick. So Payday 2. Yeah, it has a new character named Joy, and she wears a custom LED light mask, and that's coming out February 27th. Fee or Fay or Fee Fi Fo Fum, I'm not sure exactly how to say it, is a platforming adventure. The graphics look quite interesting. Like they look pretty cool to me. I like the way it looked. It kind of looked very Avatar at night, you know, the Avatar movie from back in the day. And so Shape says it's the only game that he'll be getting on this list. And so, yeah, I kind of want to see more of this. It says you'd use the controllers to sing in tune with creatures. So I'm curious on how that plays out and what that looks like exactly. I don't really know. So it says each song has a distinct sound and feel thanks to HD rumbles. So, you know, that might be pretty fun. That's just coming out digitally on February 16th. And then they also announced during that same little period there was Celeste. And it's kind of just a pure action platformer, which looked to be quite challenging. It looked like it was, after watching the video a second time, like this game's kind of no joke. Like if you want a real challenging 2D platformer, look no further than this one. Like it also has the unlockable B-side chapters that offer even more challenging adventures, and they looked crazy. And that's coming out later this month, January 25th. So that one looked all right. Let me make sure the last game on the list here is Dark Souls Remastered, which I guess we're getting a Dark Souls Remastered on Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. And that's coming out May 25th. I've never played a Dark Souls game. And I've got to say, I am excited to jump into this. So I will pick it up on the Switch, and I'm really looking forward to it. The one Henny sent me a tweet from somebody that said, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find it. Where's my phone here? Basically, it was along the lines of like, I'm not sure I want to play Dark Souls on a console that I can throw. Yeah, let's see. My favorite comment on the release, do I really want to play Dark Souls on a console that I can throw? So, from my understanding is it's a frustrating game, but I've kind of enjoyed some games like that in the past. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm kind of looking forward to it. Looks like chat's saying they're not super hyped for Dark Souls. Dark Souls at 30 frames a second, hard mode engaged. So, all right. And then, so the last thing we got from the Direct is a handful of DLCs and demos. So Super Mario Odyssey is getting a new mini game called Balloon World. And basically, you get to play hide and seek with a balloon. Now, this is free. They finally got Luigi in the game. But I'm not real sure how I feel about this. We do get a few more costumes, like Kirby Geek's mentioning, and they looked cool. One of them had shine sprites, had Mario wearing like a Hawaiian shirt with the shines or whatever from Mario Sunshine. And then there was also some armor, and I don't remember what the third one was, but I'm not sure how much I will play this balloon game. I don't know. Maybe it's more fun once you try it. Just looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. Is this something that will be for me? I guess with the challenge of only having 30 seconds, that adds a little bit of challenge to see how far away you can get it from the spawn point or whatever. That might, depending on your skill level for how fast you can move and jump and everything, you may be able to get balloons that people can't even get to because they don't have the skill. So, But Nightcrawler says, I wish you had more time than 30 seconds to hide and find balloons. And I wonder if you'll be able to teleport. I'm not really sure. I don't know what this game entails exactly. So Draco Augustus says, I was really hoping there was going to be some sort of Haunted Mansion DLC since there was no booze in the original game. Yeah, and I mean, the one thing that this has me hopeful for, since this is just a free update coming out in February with the new snapshot mode and everything, my gut feeling is that we are going to see, my prediction is that we're going to see a Luigi DLC for Odyssey later on this year. Maybe holiday, maybe summer. I'm not sure entirely, but that's my gut feeling, that we're going to get to see more Luigi. I'm kind of hoping, honestly, kind of like the new Luigi U, that we see Luigi's Odyssey, basically. I don't know if that'll be the case. And even if I'm wrong, even just getting more levels to run around with Mario, I'd still be happy with. And if that's the case, then my fingers are crossed that we do see a new Luigi's Mansion just all together. It would be really fun to get a new, be able to see that game in HD, and they're pretty fun games. So the next thing is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. We got Donkey Kong joining the crew here. We have a new storyline and world to explore. Just watching the video, like, Donkey Kong looked great, and I don't know if this is going to be what's in the game or not, but the way he was throwing his bananas like a boomerang could be kind of cool, being able to take out multiple enemies at a time. But we didn't see actual gameplay. All we saw was just like a basically a trailer. So we don't know much other than that. But that, you got to pick up the season pass to be able to get that. So keep that in mind. If you want to play the new story stuff, you do need to pick up the DLC. And then Pokken Tournament DX Battle Pack. Looks like we got Wave 1 and Wave 2. And this is something this is paid DLC. And it gives us some new characters to play in Pokken. And, not a game I've put a ton of time into, but I'm wondering if there's more people that play this game that I'm really aware of, because of the fact that we're still seeing DLC for it. So I don't know. Maybe somebody in chat knows, like, is this one of those like sleeper titles that there's kind of a decent sized community playing this game on the Switch? I have no idea. But we are seeing some new Pokemon for that game, which, fine by me. Like, I'm all about it. Don't know that I'll necessarily pick it up, but I think it's great that we'll see more. So, and then lastly, we got a couple demos. One is on the DS, and that is Kirby Battle Royale, which I need to pick that up and try it. I'll be able to talk about it on Tuesday and give some impressions on that. And then I'll also try to pick up Dragon Quest Builders. It kind of looks like Minecraft, but I'm not sure. And maybe somebody in chat has already played it. Like, is Dragon Quest Builders? Can you like build like dungeons and levels to make people that people can play? Like, is that what's going on here? Or is this literally just like a Minecraft where you're just thrown into the Dragon Quest world and you just make stuff and that's it? Is that kind of what's going on with Dragon Quest Builders? I'm not really sure. So I will play it more and then go from there. So overall, like I said, I was pretty pleased with the Direct. Like, I know there's a lot of ports and that kind of thing, like we talked about, but I personally like seeing that we're getting DLC, that Nintendo's supporting games for longer than just their initial release, and they're putting DLC with games that were a complete package when we got them to begin with. So I think that's good. There's a wide variety of games here, and I think Nintendo is doing a great job of reaching a much broader audience, and it doesn't seem like the same old Nintendo that we've dealt with in years past, where it was like, they just kind of did their own thing and kind of just relied so heavily on first parties, and we don't really have to see that now. And it's good. It's good that this Direct started with games from E to M, so you're really hitting a much broader audience. Dark Souls isn't going to be for everybody, but I can't wait to try it. May not be the best experience on the Switch, but who knows? Hopefully it won't be too bad. And but then you've got great family games like Tennis and Kirby, and then just some odd single player games like The World Ends With You. Hyrule Warriors is is a hack and slash 2-player. And then fighting games, first person shooters. I mean, really, for games that we're only going to see in the first like 5 to 6 months of the year, it's a pretty good mix. You know, it's a pretty good mix. If you owned a Wii U, yeah, you may be a little bummed out. But if you didn't, you're in for some serious good games if you haven't played them already. So, yeah, this was the Nintendo Powercast mini episode. And I think I'm going to keep streaming after this. I'm just going to end the stream so I can upload the video and everything, and then we'll do some more Xenoblade. But before I go, guys, you're going to find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, and there are more videos going out. So make sure to sub on YouTube. And also remember audibletrial.com/NPC. Get yourself a free book. Help support this show. opseat.com. Affordable, comfortable gaming chairs. Use coupon code N64Josh. And lastly, if you want to go to my Patreon, you go to patreon.com/N64Josh. You get an extra podcast and extra content. You can go and look at the tiers there. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you have a second and you can leave us a review on iTunes, I'd really, really appreciate that. For everybody that's been leaving reviews, we've gotten I was hoping to be at like 50 or something, and we're well over 70 now. So thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. The unfortunate thing is we've got a handful of 1-star reviews with nobody says why. They just leave them. So I'm not sure what they didn't like to even try and improve it. But if you're enjoying this, it would really be helpful. It helps keep us in the top 200 on Games and Hobbies. The more 5 stars we get. So thank you so much. With that, we will see you guys Tuesday, and you guys have a great one. Later.